Well, that did not go the way we wanted it to go. First of the floor, I'm Jake Eisenberg, joined by Nick MBA. Throwing a curveball at you here. Someone with a reasonable brain and mind hopefully can help us make sense and move forward in this life without the Boston Celtics for a long time now. We won't get to see these guys play basketball for a long time, which sucks. Nick, how you doing?
I don't think you should ask me that question, bro. I don't know. I don't know, man. That was I don't know. That was weird. Weird to lose three straight games. It's weird to see this team lose in the first round. Like I never thought this was a championship roster, but like to lose like this is just kind of like you know what I'm saying. Not good.
Yeah, it's we go up 3-1, and I typed with my fingertips into the first of four Discord. I think the Celtics have between a 15 and 20% chance to win the finals. That was what the odds indicated. That was how I felt after game three. I'm like, Tatum's peaking. We're going to close this series out, and we're going to get some guys some rest. And we definitely didn't do that, obviously. And I guess the timeline for today's game will start there. And also, I'm not really drinking it at the moment, but it's the last day of the season. And last year, we were on here for about 3 hours, and I drank half a bottle of Fireball. We won't be getting that tonight, which is probably better for everybody. But I will have one beer to say goodbye to the 2025-2026 Boston Celtics. What up, everybody in the chat? Payne from Ardwan, Greedy, Payne, James, we're going to try and save you. My brain is also cooked. But so the initial injury report for the Boston Celtics, completely clean, no Jason Tatum on it. I think we all knew that was probably a lie. And then a couple hours before the game, we get Jason Tatum added to the injury report, questionable with knee stiffness. And then I forget however long it was before the game, we get Jason Tatum ruled out. And I'm glad they made the call for him to sit. Like the most important thing to the franchise is that this guy is healthy long term. So for them to not push it, I'm sure Jason Tatum was trying to push it. Knee stiffness, back of my knee, sounds an awful lot like a calf injury. I'm assuming they didn't want to say calf injury. But I don't know, when that news came out, Nick, it kind of felt like the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously want Tatum in a game seven, especially a guy that has performed great against this team in that game before. Um, yeah, I didn't think there was any way that he wasn't gonna play if it was just like a thing that he would be like questionable for, but obviously like when I saw him last game, kind of like touch his calf and have to. I was like, I don't want to risk this shit at all. So I'm pretty sure Tatum wanted to play, of course, and I'm pretty sure it was very hard for him not to play. And I respect Brad and them for, well, obviously not Brad, but like the training staff and all them just doing what's best for him. And they talked a lot about like he will come, he will play when he's 110%, and they've kept that. And he's looked great, but he's played a ton of time. In the post season, he's played like 40 minutes the last three. So it's like even for a guy that's looked great since coming back, that is a lot. So yeah, they made a good decision. Obviously, you want to see him play, and it sounded like if we were to advance, that he would have been able to play at some point because Joe said it was day to day, so it doesn't seem like he was already like he was gonna be hurt for a long time. But yeah, once I saw that he was hurt, I kind of took a little uh took a little bit out of it.
Yeah, it took the wind out of the sails for sure. I mean, either way, I was shitting my pants coming into. I went through all the emotions coming into Game 7. It was I said to my wife yesterday, I'm like, you know what? I'm really not looking forward to this game tomorrow. This is not going to be a fun experience, even with Tatum healthy. And we'll kind of get into everything, but the Sixers became really good. Like with Embiid coming back, with Paul George playing the way that he did, he I think swung the series, right? Like he hasn't played this well in years, and his play alone. So, like the Sixers team you had to deal with in Game 7, like the talent advantage without Tatum, I think favored Philly, and we'll kind of get on that. But you mentioned the Tatum minutes, and I think a lot of the conversation's going to be around Joe Mazzulla, and deservedly so. What got the Boston Celtics to 56 wins and one of the best, analytics metric teams in the NBA was the reliance on the bench, the willingness to make adjustments, and then to get to the playoffs and immediately go away from so many of the things that got you there, the identity of the team. And so you go away from guys like Baylor Scheinman and Ugo wasn't playing down the stretch of the season, but like Baylor is probably the big one. And instead of relying on your depth, you load up your superstar who's coming off the Achilles injury and he's playing 42 and a half minutes, 41 minutes, and he played 21 and a half minutes in game 6, which leads to him being worked on and where the injury pops up. So not only do you go away from the identity of the team and become rigid in your decision making again, the way that you shift all of those decisions is by just loading up Tatum, and maybe Joe Mazzulla can learn something from that.
Yeah, I say this every time. I tell people that if I had like a blame pie, I always steer more players than coach, whether it's 51 to like, even if it's like a small, like, you know what I'm saying, even if it's like
Mm.
55 to 45, but like Joe was just so slow to adjust at in every aspect this series, bro. Like, is there's no way it takes him 7 games to play Gonzalez, bro. Like, in a series where you're going up against like a team where you need speed, athleticism, you need people to guard Maxi and Edgecombe. Like, and then once Embiid comes back, it's like, okay, Kate is always in foul trouble, which that's like Joe can't control that shit. Like Brown, White, Hauser, Cada, all guys that you were able to rely on for 82 games, played down in the playoffs. There's nothing he can do about, well, he can he can try to help them, but like a lot of that shit, he can't do anything, right? But it took him 7 games to, for one, take White off of the ball. He is one of the most impactful defenders in this league.
Yeah.
And majority of it is him using his head, his IQ to be off the ball, block shots, create so much havoc and taking away drives and all that shit. But but for 1 through 6, you put him on Tyrese.
Yep.
What? Like, I'm not. It's not to say that he can't, but his best is when he's roaming. And then when you have the personnel to allow him to do it, it's even worse. You have Walsh, Shaman, Gonzalez, who you didn't play. Um, and then even in this game, Ugo has a superpower where no matter if he doesn't play for the first 3 quarters, any go back to any game this year, the moment he comes in, the energy changes immediately. Immediately. He came into this game not playing a rotational second in this series. In the second quarter, he changed the entire game. And in the second half, he played 2 minutes, Jake. He played 2 minutes. Jake, he played 2 minutes. That guy played 2 minutes. Now he's not perfect.
Nope.
I'm saying no, he's not perfect. But with the shit that he was able to do defensively to Maxi and Embiid,
Mm.
he picked up 3 fouls in the first half. 2 I thought were soft as hell, but he still was able to play 10 minutes and a half. And then you play him for 2 minutes in the second half. That I don't get. It took you 7 games to try zone, which is like the easiest adjustment to try anything, and it worked. And then he went away from it. It worked in this game. It slowed everything down. The the post, they was passing it around the three. They was just bogged down. They was slow, and if for some reason he just went away from the zone. It was just so much shit, man. And like Kata as a roamer was the easiest. Trying a wing on Embiid,
Go on, Nick.
which
Go on, Nick.
everybody was clamoring. I was clamoring for more Shyman, who did not play great in this game, but more Ugo, man, because that kid can disrupt so much shit, and you can put him on Embiid and just have him annoy the shit out of him, which worked. And he got in the second half, in the first half, bro. By the second quarter, he was hunched over, huffing and puffing, because the offense was going at him the entire time, and on defense, he was 2 for 6 in the second quarter. And the only thing that's that the only thing that was substantial was the fucking free throw line, because the refs just kept giving him every flop. So it's just a lot that he was just, I thought, simple things that I thought he was slow to adjust to. So
yeah, well, that was perfect. So we wound you up and you delivered there, Nick. There's a lot that because you're absolutely right, and I'm with you. I think the sport of basketball, the coach is not as impactful as in sports like the NFL. The players in basketball have an outsized impact, but Baylor Scheinman, I think Walsh and Scheinman, your first point about Derek White and his defensive impact. Yeah, he can play on the ball, of course. Like, he's a good screen navigator and stuff like that. But yeah, he collected close to 100 blocks as a guard this year by playing off the ball and by being like a weak side rim protector. And it was funny, early in this game, they finally moved him off. And it was weird. He got back cut twice, I think.
Twice in the first quarter.
And now he just has to not let that happen. But was he out of practice? It's like, but then he cleaned it up.
Yes,
because once
he did.
He ends the game with 3 blocks, and Derek White was making all of the Derek White plays. He ends the game, I think, even though he's a -2 in the first half and -4 in the, man, he ends up 3 for 13, Derek, in the second half. That's, again, to go back to the playoffs. I mean, go back to the players as far as the blame goes. Like, people want to get mad at Joe for saying, like, you got to make shots. There was a lot of stuff that Joe could have done in this game and in this series, and we're talking about it. We're going to keep talking about it. But, like, you can start at the beginning of the game. You start with Luka Garza. We haven't even talked about the crazy line start. But Garza gets 2 wide open threes, and Garza barely missed a shot this season. He bricks both of them. You get Pritchard wide open in the corner closest to you, miss it. You get 2 wide open Walsh threes. You miss every single one. Like, and I get that there's a potential 3-point reliance, but, like, the Sixers go 7 for 14 from 3 in the first half. Like, at the end of the day, you do need to make some shots. You were generating some good ones, and it didn't happen. And Derek White 1 for 9 from 3 hurt you, especially after getting a little bit hot in that first half. But we had the numbers going, from the regular season early in the series. Walsh and Baylor to a lesser extent, but him as well, could slow down Tyrese Maxey to go away again. Even in this game, Walsh plays 2 minutes in the second half. Like, he was the one guy that was kind of helping you get over those screens. Walsh playing 5 minutes in this game is kind of insane to start Harper Jr., who, I know you love Ron Harper Jr. I know the chat loves Ron Harper Jr. I love Ron Harper Jr. But to start him, it was like, Joe, we've been begging Joe for any changes, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, dude, not all of these changes. Like, to start Garza, Harper Jr., and Baylor I liked the Baylor start, but to go Harper Jr. over Walsh and or Hauser and Garza over Cato, it was like, well, just doing doing too much here after not doing enough. So maybe Joe was in his head to a degree as well. I'll let you go any direction after that, but I'm with you on the Hugo thing as well.
Yeah, I'll do a little bit more on Joe, and then we'll get to the actual. We can get to the actual game, but like,
Hmm.
it's not even that he jumped Kada. He jumped Vooch and Kada,
Hmm.
and then he like, if I'm pretty sure that Joe was gonna go small ball in the end his game at some point, which of course he did, but like, and like Garza started this game, played 8 minutes, I think, and
Yep.
Kada still was able to play 32 minutes in this game, which he hasn't been able to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, but I listen. I didn't really mind that because I knew they were not all going to play like 20. I just thought that was him trying to start us off with like, because we've had some horrible starts and stretches,
And another one tonight.
and another one, but
Yeah.
that's where it's like, okay, y'all asked for this, but like I didn't ask for it to be in the starting fucking five, but
Yeah, yeah. Slow down, Joe.
like I didn't listen. I didn't mind that as much as some of the other shit, but like you can't give up an entire first quarter where you lose 32-19 in a game 7. Like that just can't happen. And like Garza didn't give you anything in this game.
Yeah,
Um
it's tough.
and I thought like a Vooch DMP, like I'm not saying you're saying this is the greatest player, but like I felt like he could have gave you more than Garza, for sure. Um, being able to at least attack closeouts and pass on off the pass off the dribbling stuff. Garza is either he's screening, which I thought he set some good screens in the first quarter, but Vooch is just a much more versatile offensive player, even if he's not hitting threes, but we don't even have to talk about that because Garza didn't hit a three.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it was just, and then another thing I hate is like, especially on offense, well, this was on both sides in this game. We do things that work, whether in the regular season or in this game, and then we stop for long stretches for no reason. So when in the second quarter, the offense and everything was phenomenal.
Hmm.
You put Embiid into every action, and y- like you can visibly see that he's hunched over, tired of shit. And
Yeah.
then we don't do that again. Again, you go for, and then like
I
Ugo
tweeted the
was
same
doing,
thing at halftime. I was like,
yeah,
you
wait,
have to go at Embiid
yes,
every possession,
because it
and then
just
yeah,
worked.
yeah,
It just worked, and he was tired. He was off. He was missing easy shots and stuff. I was like, okay, this is the way. And you just, there's so many, and like again, that zone bogged them down so much. And I love Jalen Brown, who of course we're gonna talk about. I love his competitiveness. I love him and Embiid. Like the smack talk was just lovely. Like that's
great.
playoff. That's what you want. I don't want him guarding Embiid. Now, even though at the end he turned that motherfucker up, but I got Baylor, I got Walsh, I got all these guys who are supposed to do that shit, right? So in the fourth quarter, when I need your legs to shoot the ball and all that stuff, he can. Now he was defensively down the stretch. I thought he was fire. Like I thought he was
Yeah, the
he was great.
blocks.
Those blocks were incredible. We'll obviously get into what happened after one of those blocks, but um, nah, man, it's just a lot of stuff that I thought Joe was slow um to adjust to. A lot of things that worked in the regular season, even in the same game that we stopped doing for absolutely no reason. And it was just tough, man. It was just tough, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, and there's lots of different ways to go. And yeah, feel free to take us any direction. But, the lack of putting Joel Embiid in the action when it was like when he was bent over at the free throw line, I'm like, man, is this going to be one more Joel Embiid can do it, but like in the first and second and third quarter, and when it mattered, he wasn't able to get it done, and so maybe we will move to the end. 99-98. The Celtics, like, I was on my knees, man. I was literally on my knees in the living room. Let me pull up the play-by-play here to jog my memory. Yeah, that's right. Cater was, and shout out Cater, man, because like it's so frustrating because he if he was able to remove the one stupid foul in, I think all the games are blurred together now, but there was like multiple games where he like put his arm in the cookie jar on an offensive rebound.
90 feet from the basket.
What are we doing?
What are you doing?
What are we doing? And tonight, I didn't think that he, at least I'm not remembering any fouls as dumb as that. One, yeah, of course he did.
Yeah, one of them.
But because like when he was out there, man, he was outside of the Hakeem fadeaway possession with like 8 seconds.
That was shot clock. That was I think it was 8 seconds. I think it was 8 seconds. I think it was 8 seconds.
You know what? At least
that shit looked smooth. Oh,
it looked good though. It looked good. It looked good. This actually renewed my faith in Cater because some of the fake handoffs, the physicality, the pump fakes around the rim, like he was really fucking good tonight. And if he had been able to stay out of foul trouble in game 2 or game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe the series is over and we're not here right now. But so Cater gets to the free throw line, and to his credit, well, I think I love about Cater, the dude's a good free throw shooter for a big man. He knocks both the free throws down. The crowd is going fucking nuts, and I'm like, are they gonna do this, man? They go down the other end. Cater plays good defense, forces a miss on Embiid, gets the rebound, and they run some really good action. Pritchard Jalen 2-man game, and Jalen butt naked, wide open, top of the key, in and out 3. I didn't mind that shot at all.
No, not at all.
That's beautiful. Bro. Like all day long. You go down the other end, and Embiid misses a 3. Cater again, big rebound. Jalen goes down, and now it felt like, okay, Jalen's trying to do it. It was a kind of a hero possession, the mid-range jumper.
Just didn't need to do that.
It was
when
go ahead.
When you were I'm sorry.
I was like, it was like, what was it? We had 13 on the shot clock. He's got VJ on him, so I don't hate the matchup. He's coming to his right hand. There's the left side's cleared out for him. It looks good, but he didn't have separation. Didn't have anything. He was really trying to foul bait.
Trying to draw a foul.
And I mean, almost, which like I know he can do that. Obviously, he misses. And Paul George, another Jalen, great defense, blocks Paul George, and Cater gets another rebound. Then you get a wide open Peyton Pritchard in the corner. And I'm pretty surprised that he misses that shot. Honestly.
Hold up. We gotta rewind. So he gets that block, phenomenal block. He's running up the court. Well, Derek's running up the court, right? He passes it. We have a 4-on-5 because Paul George is on the ground. We have a 4-on-5. All Philadelphia 76ers defenders are on the three-point line, and like Maxi's in the mid-range next to Sam, right? And I want you to pause it in 3. Oh.
Hey, we're good. I can pause it right because the clip's gonna end. So
right.
I can bring it up next one as well.
I can bring it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got it. I can do it.
I'll because
I don't want to get y'all.
Yeah, you're a wizard when it comes to screen recording all of the clips.
All right, can I see this?
Yeah, here we go.
Okay. So after this amazing block, right? Please look at this, y'all.
Hang on. I'm seeing a black screen now. Oh, there it is. There we go.
Okay. Look, can I see
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, no, shit. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot
And
about this.
and look, this is my only point, right? I know there's somebody right in front of him, but Kata is wide open. But the first thing he does when he touches it is he puts his head down.
Yeah.
Paul George is not in this play. There's a 4-on-5 in transition. We have numbers.
He's wide open.
You
man.
can't put your head down there. You can't. Now, two things can be true at the same time. He has to give Kata this ball. That is 2 points. But he makes a good pass, and Pritchard also has to make this shot.
Yeah.
But everybody says, oh, 0 for 9, we shot too many threes. Like, that's a play where he has to make that pass to Kata. But you also got a wide open corner 3. And then after that, Jake, it's another opportunity where we have a wide open layup. That's 4 points in a 3-point game that we missed. And Brown has his pass accuracy. Now, this one, I thought it looked worse live, the pass. But like, Hauser, like, bro, you're 6'8", bro. You're fucking 6'8", bro.
Yeah.
Like, catch the ball and score it, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
he tried to like score and catch at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is like, all right, bro.
The pass was good. The pass was absolutely good enough. And yeah, that's what's extra frustrating is like you did all the hard work. The Jalen missed 3 at the top of the key before this. Like I can live with that. That's yes. And it was close. But these you can't live with. Like you can't live with Jalen missing that read. You can live with the Pritchard corner 3 miss. That's just how it goes. But then, like Sam, you got to make that catch, brother. It's tough.
Yeah. So
because you did such a good job to get here, all the way back. And there's a comment here. Do you think these guys are conditioned to look for the 3 instead of Jalen finding that pass? But like, if Tatum's the one bringing the ball up there, I think he finds Kata. Yeah, but
and Jalen's first thing on that play was not to look for a 3. He tried to score on edge cone. He caught it and put his head down, and then he drove it and he kicked the ball.
He went into his bag immediately there, unfortunately. But yeah, so I mean the start of the game, starting lineup, because I think that maybe they lost the game in the first quarter, and I think Jaylen Brown ended up having a really good overall game. Had a good overall game, played well enough for us to win the game. I guess clearly with how close we were, but that first quarter, it was really bad. Yeah, it was like game 7, 2023 against the Heat vibes. It was like, and I know it's coming. I don't think it's coming from a selfish place. Like I think it's coming from a place where he wants to win and he wants to put the team on his back more than anybody. But he plays the entire first quarter. He's a team worst minus 13. They lose the quarter by 13. Obviously, he's out there for the entire time. He's 3 for 7. He has 2 turnovers, and I don't necessarily think it's a lineup thing. We kind of covered. I'm not sure I think it's fair to ask Ron Harper Jr. to start a game 7 after not really playing at all in the series, but they got some good looks. But Jalen, and we're talking about blame pie for the game and blame pie for the series, games 5, 6, and the first part of game 7, it was kind of the worst parts of Jaylen Brown. And I know you've covered it extensively and we've covered it on this pod. Like Jaylen Brown took a real playmaking and decision-making leap, we thought, at least development-wise this season. And that went away when the screws got tight to him because he was still creating advantages. He was getting 2 feet in the paint. And he was just that second that he was He was making those reads in the regular season. He was not making those reads in the playoffs. One play comes to mind. I forget which game it was, but like he just kind of missed. It was Tatum wide open in the corner.
Yeah,
How's
yeah, on the wing, yeah.
on the wing? Um, and you go down 13 to start the game, and it goes back to this Philly team being good now.
Yeah.
Like you've got Embiid back, and you've got Paul George playing at this level. Like to climb out of a 13-point hole when you're not the more talented team anymore. That hurt you.
Yeah, the first quarter and the third quarter where they just blew open that lead. But the first, yeah, JB was in that first half. He was just not good, and the team played better, of course, when he wasn't on the court, and that's kind of when that second quarter looked crazy, and it was great. And most of that was with them off the court, and that's when Derek started to hit some threes, and Ugo was great in that quarter. And Kata started to catch a groove too. So everything started to click, and I think he just needed time to recalibrate. And it was so good that the other guys were able to come back with him off, so that he didn't have to come in like down 20 or some shit. So that was cool. And I thought, yeah, in the first quarter, and yeah, bro, Derek White off the ball, like in the first quarter was just like so uncharacteristically like unaware of where he was, which is like what the like who is this? He obviously corrected that, but Oubre in that short corner, like those cuts, and like twice Derek was kind of like what's happening, and Embiid in that first quarter had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Tyrese had 6 assists in the first quarter. So they were just like they were diming us up. And then of course the second quarter you play a lot better in that quarter, but in the third quarter they went up 18. So
I forgot they went up by so much.
yeah,
Like
they went up by 18.
there's no moral victories, but like credit the fight. You know, the fact they were able to battle all the way back, but you can't go down 18
twice.
Twice.
Like you just can't go down 15 plus in 2 separate occasions.
No.
And you were literally within 1 point with 3 minutes left. And you were down 15 twice. And then and then listen, this is what I'm talking about. It can't all be on Joe, because if you say that the starting 5 was way too much, and you adjusted way too much, and that was why the first quarter was how it was. The third quarter, he started a new starting 5. Kata and Pritchard were in that 5
Pritchard was in there
to start. And it looked okay for 30 seconds.
You cut it to 3. The third, you got
Brown,
the Kata layup to start the half.
And then that's what it was. That's where the Kata foul hurt you. Because
he went out.
He was on Embiid. Kata was roaming. And that was like, okay, good. We have it all here, right? Kata picked up a dumb foul. Then Garza had to come in, which switched up the game plan completely. Because if Kata, he's a shot blocker, right? He's a, you know what I'm saying? Garza is not that. So now he can't check Oubre, you know what I'm saying? He has to check Embiid now, which switches everything up, and now they just score, and it is what it is. Like when Kata was there and he was able to just roam. Wait, was that the foul?
That was the foul,
which is weak.
So because
there's a couple of those.
Yeah, and I swear that's just a Joel Embiid experience, and it wasn't even on Embiid, but like the refs just so like I want to just be like honest about the Cater fouls in that it was technically a foul. I remember seeing the replay, but I was like, what are we doing, man? Like, what are
They
we
called a
doing?
lot of touch fouls on him
Yeah.
when
Ugo one you mentioned as well.
when the 76ers have been grabbing, holding the whole series long, and then it's just like, oh, that's the playoffs. That's playoffs. But when Kata is holding, it's a foul every time just because it's Embiid, like flopping the shit. Like, bro, that second quarter where he was gassed, those 5 free throws that he was
I
able to hit,
know.
that kept them in. That kept them. I think they
Oh,
were. Hey, were they up 5 at
he was having
halftime
the
too?
best time at the free throw line. He was like, I need to be at I was thinking to myself, just let him score and run. Keeping him at the free throw. He's scoring at the free throw line anyway. Just let him, like, don't foul him and then run because that's going to have a bigger impact. And sending him to the free throw line over and over again was killing me.
They were up 5
Yeah.
at halftime.
Yeah.
That second quarter, we damn near ran them out of the gym. 5 for 7 from the line. They scored 23 points. And those ticky tack fouls where he's flopping and they're calling it on the glass and stuff, and he's just like the biggest guy on the court, and he's flopping everywhere, and he's getting the calls. And those 5 free throws where they had no rhythm at all in that quarter kept them in the lead. And then you start the third quarter where you have the perfect plan. You put Brown on on Embiid. Kata can just help off, and then he fouls, and your versatility on 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 that end is shot. It's completely shot. But but listen, that's when Garza was already bad before that point. I'm I'm going small.
Yeah.
Perfect opportunity. Put Ugo in the game. He just played 10 minutes and was great on on defense.
He was +7 and
What are we
couldn't
doing?
make a shot. Yeah.
He
And to
was,
go back to Gaza was a horrendous decision.
and then they immediately, Tyree scored like 10
Yeah.
straight points.
Yeah. We were down
Uh,
11 in a blink of an eye.
17-6 run
Yeah.
from 12. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the. I'm sorry. That's first good. 14-3 run.
Yeah.
8-2 run. It's just
It's brutal. It's brutal. Sorry, I forgot to get to Chase 100 super chat here. Enough is
What's up, Chase?
enough. We need to get a legit big this summer. I say we go trade for Bam. He only makes 37 million a year and is great friends with JT. He makes 50 million a year. In the 26-27 season, you're probably looking at the previous season. Sorry, Chase. And I don't. Hey, Bam Adebayo, 83-point scorer. Maybe he could have helped you tonight. But I don't think the Bam Adebayo thing makes a ton of sense. He makes too much money for how good he is, and we'll get into a bit of off-season stuff if Nick's still alive in the next couple of minutes here. But yeah, no, that stretch absolutely killed you. And again, another thing from Joe where like a big part of the blame does fall at his feet, and that's man, it sucks. And I was not feeling good about a Knicks series regardless with how they kind of showed their last couple of games. But the thing is, you can see how fast this stuff flips. Like if they had been able to get out of this game and win, like they had lost their identity, but they did find it.
They found it.
Like, yes, that third quarter was bad, but it was quick, and then they rallied all the way back, and that second quarter was there. So it was again going back to the talent thing. You didn't have the talent advantage to survive it, but I was like, if you can win this game, you've rediscovered yourself. Who knows if Tatum would have played? We'll never know. But you have Tatum, and you've rediscovered this version of yourself. Like you go back a week, we're up 3-1, the Knicks are down 2-1, and everyone feels completely different. So as much as it felt like the Celtics didn't have a chance in that series, you you never know what's going to happen in these playoff series. Like things flip really, really quickly. I mean, from this game in particular, is there anything else? Like, obviously, we could kind of go uh, all day on it. Like Pritchard, he ends up playing 39 minutes. So I gotta give credit, or at least, you know, put my hand up and say, hey, I want to see Pritchard play 40 minutes tonight if Tatum's going to be out, especially. Saw Pritchard play 40 minutes. He missed some shots that he can make, but at the same time, 7 assists, 0 turnovers. That was something that you still controlled the turnover margin tonight. 5 turnovers. That helped you stay in the game. But you needed a little bit more shot making, and you need a little more volume from Pritchard, I thought.
Yeah, man. It especially that three in the corner, man, where
Oh, yeah, first quarter and fourth quarter.
yeah, he could have absolved Jalen Brown
Yeah.
of all the he could have absolved Jalen Brown of all the blame if he would have just hit that shot. But yeah, man, it's and then there was also a stretch in the third quarter where when Embiid and Jalen were talking, and like I swear Embiid like he shit talked Jalen into like 5 tunnel vision
Yeah, I know.
plays where I'm like, JB, keep your cool. And he just kept running down the court. And I'm so glad in that fourth quarter he like he honed in, because that first half and majority of that third was just like not good. But I'm gonna read like a couple of things that I have for the fourth quarter just to illustrate one quick thing. The first thing that I wrote was Celtics zone is perfect. Derek White gets two strips on Joel Embiid because I believe he was in the middle of that zone. I wrote again, zone slowing them down. They went away from zone after that. They didn't go back to zone. After I wrote it as a key point twice in the first 3 bullet points of my notes, bro. Like, and bro, that challenge.
Oh God,
That challenge, dog. They tried to take it back,
I
but
know.
dog, you cannot lose your challenge there on something so obvious, though.
So,
No,
so that's on everybody, including Cater, by the way.
yeah. He
Hey
can't
guys,
foul.
I smacked the shit out of him.
Yeah. Hey, I smacked his arm.
Yeah.
Green Lantern, like he get like you got to get all the angles. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on.
For first, but that's like I think that's actually not on Joe at all.
No,
Because
that's not.
he's because Cater told them, Green Lantern told him, and he was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I trust him. If he see it, I see it too. And then Emil was like, no. It was too late at that point. But
it was funny. It was a funny sequence to, if you're not the Celtics and you're not a Celtics fan, to see a very obvious foul and them try and take it back. And then is it Tyler Ford was like, no, bro, you're already challenged. You can't take it back. I'm like, come on, dude. So that definitely hurt. Yeah, to see Ugo go +7 in the first half and then just ice him for the whole second half. It's like we got him at least doing something, Joe, but we didn't get the right things. It felt like, yeah, you're right. The Gaza as opposed to going small, which worked in the first half, or we saw Gaza struggle. Let's go back. Let's go to Vooch. Either go to Vooch or try small again, or go Ugo. Like it just didn't make sense. The Walsh playing only 5 minutes. And like Baylor Scheinman down the stretch, last 15 games of the regular season, 24 minutes a game. And this is with Jason Tatum back, 24 minutes a game. And part of that, I mean, I know Vooch being injured wouldn't even impacted that either, right? Because like they weren't going double Bs. And he shoots 45.5% from 3. Like he can't miss. He has a masterclass, big shot Bob performance in the MSG. And then you ice him going into this series. And sure, on one hand, it's like they were able to do this all season long, in and out of the lineup. But I think asking Baylor Scheinman to come in Game 7 after being iced, and he was off on his floaters, all the shots that Baylor Scheinman made for the previous 20 games, he was missing. And it's like, if he had been playing in the first part of the series, would he have been more comfortable? Would Jason Tatum be playing? Shout out Muzz in the chat. Appreciate you.
Shout
Seal and Baylor die for multiple loose balls. First to the floor. I'm down on Joe again. I mean, firstly, Joe's not going anywhere. And again, back to what you just said before, Nick, two things can be true. Joe Mazzulla had, Brad just won Executive of the Year. Joe Mazzulla might well receive Coach of the Year in a few days here, which for my bank account, I hope he wins because I bet on him when he was 5-1. But at the same time, that's going to look a little bit awkward. He had a great season, developed all these guys, pressed all the right buttons, had buy-in from like 1 through 15, was able to reintegrate Tatum, and then he fell apart in the playoffs. I think that's fair. And now we've got 4 playoff runs from Joe. We have this one. We have last season where he sticks with Porzingis when it was not working. We have the most dominant season, or one of the most dominant seasons in NBA history. And then we have the Miami Heat series, which he definitely made mistakes in, but I'm kind of willing to put less of that on him considering he got the job 2 weeks before the season started. But, man, the life as a Celtics fan over the last 5 years has either been crushing defeat in the finals, conference finals, or in the playoffs in some regard, or one season of the most dominant play in history and winning a title. You could not be more opposite ends of the spectrum. And I'm not sure if it's good or bad.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's definitely a roller coaster. Definitely a roller coaster. The last thing about the game, and then we can just go to something else. But the last 3 buckets by Tyrese, right? Where he was just driving past Cater, which is like it's
tough.
Expect that, right? You know what I'm saying? But again, at the end of a half, you did your job. You tired out Joel Embiid. They went away from his post-ups and just said, all right, Tyrese, you gotta take us home. High pick and roll. And somehow, some way, Derek White found his way onto Tyrese
again
3 straight times. Pick and roll, targeting Cater. No pre-switches, no nothing. No, like, and then at the end of the game, I would rather Tyrese shoot jump shots than just driving. Because it's the end of the game. This was a competitive game, a physical game. His legs might not be all the way there, you know what I'm saying? But just allow him to go past Cater, and again, Derek White being on him instead of like a Brown or a Shyman, where if Derek White is off the ball, I trust him to make a better help play. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the last one, Jalen was a little late on the help, and Tyrese was able to just like slither right past him. So your offense obviously didn't help you again down the stretch. You go over there's been a lot of stuff said about the defense, which obviously was not perfect, but the Celtics failed to score over 100 points in 5 of the 7 games. Like, your defense was not the main problem here. Like, you were the number one scoring defense in the regular season this year, and you gave up like 106 points. If I go to what you gave up in the playoffs, Celtics playoffs, opponents traditional, you gave up 103 points this series on average. You should be able to score 104 points.
So. Yeah. No, so tonight, it's the offense again. 2022 NBA Finals, offense. 2023 Heat Series, offense. Last season against the Knicks, games 1 and 2,
offense. You scored 90 points twice.
Yeah. And tonight you score 104.2 points per 100 possessions. That puts you in the 18th percentile, according to Cleaning the Glass. And it just shouldn't be the case. And part of that, so there was a comment that just actually kind of lines up with this from SS Austin. What do y'all think of the same make or miss mentality that made us lose last year and no adjustments to it? So I think again the two things can be true thing. Like you want to hunt catch and shoot threes, corner threes. You got to knock more of them down. But like that last kind of stretch there, like Derek White taking it very tough pull up three. I do think that there is on one hand there maybe is a mentality thing to it, but who on this team do you trust to get rim pressure if Jason Tatum's out? It's Jalen Brown. Derek White can get downhill.
And Pritchard probably.
Get Pritchard the ball more. But again, we kind of covered like he struggled
He
a bit
wasn't that
tonight.
good. Yeah.
His team does not really have like the downhill kind of personnel to put pressure on the rim. Like it's not going to be Hauser. We love the Ugos and maybe that's where like the offensive rebounding comes back in. That allows you to get putbacks and rebounds and then cutters and easier catch and shoot threes and that's where some of the offense can come from. Like you end today 10-3 offensive rebounding. Like margin wise, 10-3, and then turnovers, you're 5 to their 9. You feel pretty good about that.
We shot
But
11 more shots than him
yeah,
and lost.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The free throws, they had 7 more
Oh, they shot
attempts,
20. Yeah, okay.
but like, so there's a little bit of it, but not much. You still you did the thing that made you yourself from a margin perspective. You just shot 39% from the field and 26% from three. So it is a make or miss thing, but we watched the game. Like we know a lot of them were forced. I felt like Reggie and Jamal Crawford were kind of losing their mind too much, I thought.
Yeah.
Because I thought some of the threes were good, but at the same time, I know it is a balance, and I do think it's a personnel thing. And that brings you back to off-season move potentially. I don't know. What your thoughts on like the make or miss mentality and the lack of adjustment to that kind of question? Because that is a big talking point now coming out of this game again.
I mean, I don't know what people want them to like not shoot open threes. Like I understand the ones that are created bad, which I thought Reggie and like you said, they were over it too much. But that
There were a few.
third quarter where they had that like something that I've noticed is like the Celtics get discombobulated a lot after the other team like hits a shot. So when they score and they keep scoring, they just run down the court and try to get something quick and like just I don't know. But
Yeah.
that third quarter where they went on that run and VJ hit that three to put them up like 18 or so. That stretch before that, when they just kept scoring, the Celtics just went up the court and shot threes.
Yeah.
Like that was the portion where it was like, all right, bro, like y'all are tripping. But the ones that are created inside out when you're driving, you're touching paint, and then you're kicking out and stuff, like the again, I have a massive problem with Brown not hitting Kada for the the easy, easy 2 points where we don't have to like hit a shot, but he drove and kicked it to an open guy with nobody around him. The possession before that, two, he set a screen on Tyrese, knowing damn well he's not switching. So he got a wide open three because he wasn't going to switch on him. And it went like those are shots that you can't pass up. So of course there are some that are just bad shots, like I said, but the other ones where you're getting open looks, you're not passing up wide open threes. Like
Yeah.
you're just not doing it. So
Yeah, the wide open ones, I don't have a problem with you. It's a good point. Justin chat in the chat here. Shout out, better season than I had anticipated, but definitely a disappointing ending. Strong agree. Thanks for all the great content and analysis. Cheers to next year. Hey, if you can keep that mentality, that's definitely the way to do it. And if you're not following Nick on YouTube, Nick NBA YouTube, like he has chronicled so many possessions of incredibly good and sophisticated offense and really good offensive process. For some reason, when that does happen to them, when things start to not go their way, How is the response to go into taking tough pull-up threes that are contested and not to go into all of the actions that are working, whether it's simply just putting Joel Embiid in the action, which even I know to do, but spaying them to death, like
which they were doing and it was working, and they stopped doing it.
That's
what I'm saying.
And is that a coaching thing? I don't think so. Like, Joe's not saying.
I think Joe has to call it though.
Yeah, that's probably
But
both.
yeah,
all the hand signals.
Yeah, it's a snap. They call it snap.
Yeah,
so
they call it snap.
When he snaps, they do it. But like, they were going at Tyrese so well. I have something. This was the third quarter. Offense stopped going to Killer Whale in Spain, going at Maxi and Embiid. This is written down. They stopped. They stopped doing it, which is like, come on, man. So yeah, man, it's like the most telling thing is after a game where I think that the offense just ran beautifully. I'll talk about it. Do a video. In 7 games, I've only been able to do one best sets of each game. I've only been able to do one of them, which tells you that for 6 games, I didn't think I'm nobody, but I didn't think the offense was good enough to talk about and to, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's a little troubling because it's never really been the case. So yeah, man.
Yeah, it's brutal. All right, we'll quickly move to the and Nick, if you want to hop off, please feel free. I can keep going from here. It's only 3:30 in the afternoon here, so I'm using performance enhancing time zone drugs here, but
yeah,
I want to
10 minutes left, man.
Yeah. So yeah, just hit me, just tap the helmet.
Okay, I got
pop
you.
out whenever you need to. But off season. Obviously, in a moment like this, we've got Scorched Sauce in the chat here is wants him to be fired. And like, I think there's some validity to wondering if Joe can do it in the playoffs because we've now seen it. But I wouldn't fire him. I'd be stunned if Brad Stevens fired him. So like, you may as well just stop wasting your energy on like the he should be fired stuff, because I just think it's incredibly, incredibly unlikely. I think you move your attention and focus to the roster, and it's hard to keep the mentality of this was a house money season when you lose, when you're up 3-1 in a series to a team you should have beaten. But Tatum comes back healthy, and the future of the Celtics really hinges on that fact. And that happened. You got all your draft picks for the most part. Like, the team is in a really good place from a roster building perspective. So that's good for the future. The big man rotation, I think if we're looking at one, and as good as Kato played in Game 7, I feel good about him as a starting caliber center going forward. But that's the spot that I would see them try and target. And like, the more likely, safer path is probably going to be, you've got you're under the luxury tax. You have your mid-level exception available, the non-taxpayer, which is around 15 million. There's guys like Robert Williams potentially available.
The first name I thought of.
I was going to say, Rob played so well in the playoffs that I'm now pretty concerned.
Yeah, his markets.
Well, I just like, why are the Blazers letting him get out of the building?
Yeah.
The reason is because they have some extra big money tied up in some contracts, and they need to restructure Denny Avdia to like a legit max contract. So, and we know that their owner is very cheap. So there's a chance that that's why Rob hits the market. Mitchell Robinson's a free agent. There's a bunch of those are some Mamu, Kidishvili, some other like big man guys. Like, that's where I think that they should use the mid-level exception. The pie in the sky way to patch this hole, Isaiah Hartenstein, the OKC Thunder, he has a team option. They are right up against the second apron, if not like well into it. They could just let him go potentially because they're not willing to go into the second apron. If that happens, you could, either I think he'll get more than the 15 mid-level exception, but you could sign and trade him into your trade exception that you got for the Anthony Simons Vucevic trade. Because that's the best case scenario, really. Like if you bring in Hartenstein and you got Hartenstein and Cater as your 1-2 punch,
Yeah,
it feels unlikely, but that would be really nice.
yeah. Yeah. You obviously have some bread coming off the books with Vucevic, and if like bro, if you trade for Vooch and he gets literally not a second in a game
Yes.
7, that probably doesn't leave a great taste in his mouth or yours to somebody that traded for him and him for somebody that thought he was gonna finally go on a deep run,
Yeah.
and for him not to be able to impact the game in the deciding game, he probably doesn't like that too much. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would love Rob back because it seems like he can be healthy now, or it seems he just had one, and on this team, if we have Kata and um if we have Garza back, we don't have to rely on Rob too much. But this season was his healthiest, and he showed you that in the playoffs against a great team, he can still be impactful. But like Hartenstein is like the dream because
Yeah.
that's the handoffs, that's the screening, that's the floaters, that's the toughness. Like he's not the greatest defensive guy, but he's tough as shit. And his game translates. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So um then you have a real starting center. You have two starting centers, and if this happens to Kata again, where he's in foul trouble and all this stuff, our heart is much more of a like not smarter, but like well, he is smarter, but like he's a much more disciplined player. So probably won't have to worry about that too much.
Yeah. So that's I mean that's the dream. I'm not sure how realistic that is. Um, question for you, Nick: are you a Celtics fan?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Unfortunately tonight, and is Nick going to be doing draft stuff?
Yeah, I do. I did draft stuff last year, which is kind of where it kind of because I did a film session on Amari
That's yeah.
before we drafted him, and then on draft night I was like, all right, man, you better give me, you better pick him, or I'm not doing this anymore. And then they fucking picked him. So I was like, hey, I have
Hey,
a video on this guy,
there
and
we
that's
go.
kind of, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I didn't want to get into draft this early, but
Of course, yeah. Well,
yeah, and
me neither.
inevitably we're gonna be doing it. So yeah, we have our first round pick. We did trade the Pelicans
Yeah,
second, but we have the Milwaukee one,
the
which is
Bucks
like
second.
two picks afterwards because
Yeah.
they were they were also um they were also bad. So yeah,
Yeah, they but we don't really have the roster spots. Like, I love
yeah.
every guy on this roster. I mean, Vooch probably like drops off. Banton drops off as well. They're running low on roster spots. All right, Nick, I'm going to give you another chance to leave here before we start talking about Giannis and Kevin Durant
Oh
trades.
yeah, all right, yeah, man. I'm yawning. I need to go
All
do
right.
some things, but hey, man, I appreciate you, man.
No, I appreciate you hopping on late on the East Coast on the last day of the Boston Celtics 2026 campaign. It's not the best end, but yeah, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, man. Nick NBA on the tube, Jesus, the YouTube. I'm gonna be doing a lot of playoff stuff tomorrow. I'll have since it's like the last game breakdown I can do of us. I'll probably just do the entire offense. So I'll probably just like go through all of it and see what happened, what didn't happen, stuff like that. Since it's the last one, really. Um, and then catch me at Nick NBA YT on the on Twitter. I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff throughout the playoffs and stuff. It just won't be Celtics now, unfortunately, and then
Yeah.
draft stuff in the coming weeks and stuff. So, yeah, I appreciate you, man.
Hell yeah, man. Lovely to hang out. And yeah, Nick, if you want to learn more about the game and just to support a great person and a great content creator as well, please do. But yeah, then Nick, now you don't have your name next to it once we start talking about Jalen for Giannis and Derek White for Kevin Durant trades. I'm saving you from that. All right.
All right, big guy. All
All
right.
right. Take it easy, brother.
Hey, appreciate y'all, man. I'll see you.
Alrighty, boys and girls. We'll hang around for see if I can get this right here. That'll do. Before we leave, we're an hour and 5 minutes into the show. So it's time to get a little and this doesn't count now. These are just questions and scenarios and situations that I think Brad Stevens probably has rattling around his head late on a Saturday night after the Celtics season ends in incredibly disappointing fashion in back-to-back seasons. So Giannis Antetokounmpo, if he does not get traded this offseason, would be a huge surprise. The question becomes, do you trade? We'll pull up the trade machine here. Jake, did we exceed your season expectations? We did. We did. We did exceed my season expectations. There's no doubt about it. Unfortunately, my expectations changed as we entered into the playoffs. I thought this team had a legit chance to make the finals. And if you make the finals, you got a chance to win the finals. So, like, hard to kind of pass those two things, but it is true. So, a straight up Giannis for Jalen trade does work. Jalen Brown makes 53 million. Hang on, I think I got to change the season. So from the 2025 season to the 2026 season, Jalen Brown makes $57 million and Giannis Antetokounmpo makes $58 million. And according to Spot Track, the Celtics would be acquiring 1.4 million extra dollars. Giannis has one more year left on his contract. Jalen has 3 more years left on his contract. Like, I think objectively, healthy Giannis Antetokounmpo is a better player than Jalen Brown. But he is a little bit older. Let's double check the ages on this one because we like to be accurate here. Giannis is 31, turns 32 in December. And Jalen Brown is 29, if I'm not mistaken, and turns 30 in October. So there's really only 1 year separating these guys. The question becomes is how much draft capital do you have to include in order to get the deal done? Is it a 3-team deal? Like, to the other Bucks even interested in a Jalen Brown? The fact that they don't own any of their own picks makes you think that they would be trying to either compete or because they're a 3-team trade with someone like Houston or the Pelicans or the Blazers who own the Milwaukee Bucks. So Mr. Gaza in the chat, Giannis can't even shoot you speaking crack. Well, the Celtics can't shoot anyway. So maybe bring in someone who is like the most elite rim pressure player in the entire NBA. People are sick of threes. Well, here's a guy that gets you 30 points at the rim every night. Like, I'm not saying I would do it. I haven't decided in my heart of hearts if I would do it. My heart has kind of always been just keep the Jays together, have these guys play the rest of their careers together. And I trust these guys to get another title at some point. But, you know, on nights like tonight and series like this, that belief and that mentality is tested. That's for sure. And so for the Giannis can't stay healthy crowd. He played 36 games this season, got injured multiple times. Last season, he played 67 games and played 5 games in the playoffs, and they lost. So like pretty healthy last season. Previous season, 73 games, and they did get injured in the back end of the season going into the playoffs. And I think part of the Giannis injury stuff is that, and my wife here saying, hurry up, enough of this shit. It's tough out here. You got to support me in these tough times. Poor Celtics. Poor all of us. But Giannis would not have to carry anywhere near the heavy load that he has carried for the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, he has put, look at the roster of the Bucks this season. With Giannis off the court, they had a negative 11 net rating. With Jalen off the court, the Celtics had a plus 14 net rating. Yeah, I'm with you, late March. Wife needs to let me grieve. Unbelievable. Hey, I'll be honest, my game in my early 30s, it's coming around a little bit. But he's been healthier than I think people think. 36 games this season, obviously not good. 67 last year's plus the playoffs. 73 last year, but got injured going into the playoffs and then came back for the playoffs. But I think he got injured again. 63 before that, 67 before that. I'm very confident that this is going to be a scenario and a trade that Brad Stevens is considering. Brad Stevens is not as sentimental as some of you think, or maybe he is sentimental and he will cry if he does trade Jaylen Brown, and I will probably cry if we trade Jaylen Brown. But when you have a dude that, when healthy, is still Giannis, Jokic, Shea in a tier of their own at the top of the NBA. When he was on the court this year, he was still a monster. Regular season, still 28, 10, and 5. Like, he's still as good as it gets. That's something that we'll be discussing. And when I get Ben and Spoonie on later in the week, we know we'll and as we get into the offseason, these are some of the conversations we'll be having. And now the other one, which might even be more divisive. Derek White plus Sam Hauser for Kevin Durant. The money works pretty much straight up. Early in the series, when Derek White's missing wide open catch and shoot threes, I think one of the greatest shooters in the history of the sport and one of the greatest scorers in the history of the game and one of the greatest scorers in the 2026 NBA season on a team that struggled again on offense. Kevin Durant is straight up one of the best offensive players in the NBA still. Yeah, KD, I want to say, is 38. Let's fact check me on this one. Kevin Durant, 37. Turns 38 right before the season starts. And I think you look at Kevin Durant, you look at Steph Curry, you look at LeBron James. These guys, you look at Kawhi Leonard, the guys that are still absolutely dominating. We see Taylor over here. Paul Pierce is already on our bench. Kevin Durant this season kept a Houston Rockets offense alive somehow. He averaged 26 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists on 52% from the field, 41% from the three-point line, and 87% from the free throw line. Like, both of those trades, Tatum, Giannis, and KD. Holy smokes, Dan Hodkins. Now you're really talking. Yeah, like Durant offensively is as good as it gets. The question with Durant, I think, is the culture stuff. Like, it's very much like he admitted it, and it sounds like they had a meeting about it, that he had a burner scandal where he had messages leaked about how much he hated his teammates. He was calling his own teammates the R word. If you're concerned about the culture and the dickheadness of Kevin Durant, tearing down the Boston Celtics, then I can understand that thinking. And again, I'm not saying we should do these trades. I'm looking at big swings that potentially can happen. Because the most likely path and the most probable and the path that I would probably just do, you run it back, you get a fully healthy Jason Tatum, who looked like a top 5 player again. You get him a full off season to come back off this Achilles. You have Jaylen Brown come back. You have internal development from Ugo, Ron Harper Jr., all these guys that are young, Baylor, Walsh, and you come back and you kick ass again next season. That's the most likely path. You add a big man with the mid-level exception, whether it's Rob Williams, Mitch Robinson, Mamu. There's a bunch of different guys out there. You draft someone with the 27th overall pick. I would draft a big man. That's the most likely path. And that's a path I can get behind because they just won 56 games. I know that is fucking choked a 3-1 lead, but a title team is still in this core, in this version of the team, in this future of the team without making big changes. But I promise you, these are the conversations that Brad Stevens and the front office will be having. Because Derek White and Sam Hauser for Kevin Durant, when you've got a bunch of bench guys to fill out the roster around those three, is very, very interesting. Ron Harper Jr. breakout season. Who needs to trade for a star when there's a star hiding in plain sight? But you struggle to score again, and that's the reason you lose in the playoffs. You bring in the greatest forward scorer of all time. You might even get a pick back from Houston. I have no idea how the value of a Derek White Hauser for a Kevin Durant trade would even be. I have no idea. I don't want this, but what about John Morant? That's a terrible, terrible, terrible idea, in my opinion. But people might think these are bad ideas too. So, John Morant, his offense has fallen off a cliff. He can't get to the rim anymore. He can't finish at the rim anymore. And he can't shoot. And he can't defend. He does nothing good, really, anymore. And he's talking about injury prone and chemistry prone. Chemistry destruction prone. Zion, let's just double check the salaries here. He actually was pretty healthy this season and was like pretty good when he was on the court. Not the same level as he was previous. Kind of when he got injured in there. He makes $42 million though. I'm not doing Zion for Derek and Hauser. I need someone more reliable. I need someone better than that. Or when they're on the court, I can really trust they're going to help us. I don't think Zion is a guarantee. I feel like if Kevin Durant's on the court in this series we played against Philadelphia instead of Derek White, we win the series. Granted, Kevin Durant got 2 different injuries in this playoffs. So if you're concerned about health and age, totally get it. Now, Trey Murphy, Austin in the chat, speaking my language. But like, why? The Pelicans have basically showed no indication that they would get rid of Trey Murphy. Trading for Derek White maybe makes a little bit of sense for them, but they've got DeJounte Murray. They've got Fears. Doesn't really make sense to me that they would give up Trey Murphy for Derek White. Again, just talking. I don't really know if I would do any of these trades, but yeah, the KD and the Giannis trades are going to be conversations that we have for a long time in this offseason, is going to be my guess. Because I think it makes a lot of sense for Houston. I think it makes a lot of sense for Boston on paper. Anthony Davis, I'm out. Sorry, I can't do that injury stuff. And maybe I'm being a hypocrite by being willing to do it for Giannis, but I'm out on. And so last question I'll ask everybody. Oh, hang on. The camera ran out of battery again. Last question before we leave. And my wife's just released my dog here to try and get me to finish. Hey Teddy, who are we rooting for in the second round? Nature Dependence in the chat says I can't root for New York. I can't root for Philly. I can't root for Joel Embiid. I already put a lot of money on the Knicks to win the Eastern Conference because I was preparing for an emotional hedge bet between the Celtics and the Knicks in the second round. So I I'm gonna be rooting for the Knicks. I can't root for Embiid, man. I just can't do it. I can't watch it. But like, go Pistons, I guess, right? Go Pistons. Go Cavs. I think at this point we actually have to go for the Cavs in Game 7 tomorrow because we need more actual teams that could take down the Knicks or the Sixers. But yeah, this sucks. I appreciate all of you supporting us and the channel through the season and the playoffs. Who do I want to win it all? The San Antonio Spurs. I think that's the best, cleanest, least painful option. Poor Ted. My wife's just locked him in here with us. All right, everybody. Love you all. Till next time. Go Celtics.